and welcome back to my channel. So today is the second day of my Mega Goal Planning Week extravaganza, and today's video is going to be all about my top 5 goals for 2021. Now, if you guys saw yesterday's video where I did a recap of 2020, you will know that this year I have not succeeded in completing all 5 of my top 5 goals. And honestly, I didn't last year either. I got pretty close, but I didn't completely finish all 5 of them. And honestly, that's okay. The reason I do a top 5 goals is because I want to have some kind of big picture projects that I'm working towards, but that are a bit of a reach. It gives me something to continuously work toward throughout the year. It gives me something to look forward to depending on what it is. So for example, if it's a trip, it's something to look forward to. It also kind of motivates me, usually, maybe not this year, but usually it motivates me to make progress on things that otherwise would take me absolutely forever, which we're gonna chat about this year's goals and you guys are gonna see where that sometimes backfires on me. But even though I, 2 years in a row, have not actually finished all 5 of my top 5 goals, I am gonna do them again for 2021. And I originally was thinking that maybe it was time for me to do a top 3 goals to have it be a little bit more, well, a little bit less ambitious, shall we say. And I finally decided that, nope, I wanna do my top 5. It's always been a stretch. So the idea behind the top 5 was never to make them be an easy thing to accomplish. It is definitely doable. Like, they are all goals that are doable in the normal course of things, obviously, but it's not supposed to be easy. It has to be something that I work towards. So I thought that if I only did top 3 goals, I don't know, I just wouldn't maybe have the push for the year that I really need. So I decided to keep it with 5, and honestly, some of the goals from last year are going to be carried over to this year because, let's be honest, 2020 was not the easiest year to get some of these goals done. So I am going to just kind of walk you through what the 5 goals are. So you guys are going to see more tomorrow and on Friday exactly how that's going to break down in my planning, but for today, we're just going to chat. So I actually have my PROJO, obviously, and I have my 2021 possible goals spread open, and I finally decided on my top 5 goals. And if we're being perfectly honest, I decided on 2 of these about a minute before I started filming. So as you can see, things are going well. But honestly, it's fine. When I do my top 5 goals, I do typically go with kind of like a gut feeling. There are certain things that I'm like, no, I know absolutely that's going to be a top 5. And then there are other things that I kind of we'll just get sort of an inspiration for it and decide that that's going to be a top 5 goal. So that's kind of how it went this year. So my first one, and this is one that I was not able to complete fully in 2020, is my Italian immersion. And that is honestly priority numero uno because I have been dreaming of doing this immersion trip for literally like 5 years. And unfortunately, I didn't get to do it this year. I probably could have. The school itself was open and accepting students. However, I just kind of personally felt like it wasn't really necessary for me to go, and I kind of preferred to just not travel this year. Even if I don't know if it would have made a huge difference or not, but I just kind of preferred not, avoiding using public transportation or anything like that as much as possible. So I ended up pushing it off. I've actually already paid my deposit, which is great. I've also been in contact with the school, and actually in the next month or 2, I'm going to contact them again because my goal is to either go during my February or my April holidays. I think April is probably going to be the one just because February, it's still kind of close to the end of winter and I don't know how things are going to go. So my goal, let's say my April holidays, my goal is going to be to go during my April holidays. I'm going to contact the school and set the date, make sure everything is open and all of that. I have been continually working on saving money, so I think I should be at my savings goal by February, I think is what I set it for. So that's great. So really all that is kind of left to do is to actually book everything, book my plane and trains, and if I need to get a hotel because of like transport issues or whatever, finalize my booking with the school, and then we're good to go. So that is top 5 number 1. My second one is another one that I would have liked to do this year, but with everything, I really just didn't plan ahead well enough. So my town actually has like an association that does Korean classes, and the Korean classes run from, I think it's like the end of September through the end of June or something like that. And they also take off all of the school holidays, which works out perfectly for me, obviously, because that falls into my school schedule. So what I would like to do is to sign up. Their sign up is in June. So in June of 2021, I want to sign up to start taking Korean classes in like September of 2021. Now, I tried emailing them back when I was like going to go to Korea last year, and they never responded to me. So I'm really hoping that they still give classes, because sometimes it's really, I actually went to where they give classes, but it's like a community center basically, and so they just like rent a room to do the classes, but they don't actually have their offices there. So fingers crossed for me that this is a school that is still up and running, that is still accepting students and all of that, because I would really, really, really like to do some in-person Korean classes. I think that'll just really help me to start being able to converse a little bit more, because obviously now I can kind of like understand bits and pieces and words, but I don't really have any sort of conversation practice like on the regular. So yeah. Wish me luck. So that is goal number 2. I also have been saving up for that one, and I believe I've set it so that my savings goal will be finished by June, so that I will have all the money I need to pay for my for the registration fees and for the class itself by June. So that one is kind of like on its way, but it's really just I need to actually follow through with it, because I wanted to do it last year and I dropped the ball. I didn't set up a budget for it. I, let the date pass me by and all of that. So it's really going to be, I'm working towards it now, but now I actually have to like in June sign up, fill out the forms, contact them if I need to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So my third top 5 goal is my naturalization dossier. No, that's not the word. What's the word in English? Application. Yes. So my naturalization application. I am eligible to apply for citizenship here, and I will be keeping dual citizenship with the US. Yeah, that was kind of that would have been a deal breaker. I do want to keep like where my family is and all of that. But one of my goals is, while I am on my current visa, I would like to get my naturalization application started and underway. I've heard that it can take upwards of a year to like 18 months to actually have it all go through. So I need to get started on that. The good thing is that a friend of mine is also looking to do it at the same time. So basically once lockdown is once lockdown is finished, for the second round, we are going to have to like set a meeting and start working on stuff. And actually we could probably start doing it on Skype if we're being honest. So maybe that'll be something that I want to start in like my December holidays or during my February holidays or something like that. So this is one that was a goal for this year that I just never really got around to, just with everything else that was going on. So I definitely want to focus on it this year so that I can like get that underway, since I know it's going to take a long time to actually like be accepted and go through and like all of that kind of stuff. My fourth top 5 goal is to do my second font. So I still have it as my goal this year to finish my first font, and we're getting closer. I just need to actually book time and sit down and do it, as opposed to booking time and pushing it to the following week, which I don't know why this is like such a big thing for me. It's really not that hard, and it's something that I want to do. Like every time I do work on it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. It's just one of those projects that builds up in my head and I never actually like work on it, or I do, but it takes me like months in between each time. So still, goal for 2020 is to finish my first font and get that launched. Goal for 2021 is to do my second font. I have no grander ambitions than that, because this font has already taken me a year and a half, almost 2 years. If I can get a font done in a year, we're good. So not really much else to say on that one. You guys have been hearing about this one for 2 years now. Yeah, I know. This is getting really sad. I need to work on that. So top 5 goal number 5. I originally wasn't going to do any sort of work goals, but this one I think I do want to do. So this last goal is no work weekends. I have been doing pretty good overall this year. I've had a couple of weekends where I have worked. I think maybe 3 since the start of the school year, but the first 2 that I worked were because I just didn't get information until closer to the start of the school year, so I didn't do the pre-planning that I normally would have done. And the latest one was I did not use my time as well as I could have during my holidays, and so I had to basically do a marathon on Saturday and Sunday before I went back to work. And overall, I would say I am doing pretty well. Like in the normal course of things, I really don't work that much on the weekends. I do as much as possible during the week. However, I think that making it a top 5 goal will be good, because then I'll know that, you know, my goal for the year is to not work on the weekends. Do I think I'll be 100% successful? Not necessarily. Like, I don't always use my time as well as I could, so there will probably be a couple of times where I do end up having to do some work on the weekends. However, I think that having a year where that's like a focus of mine will really help me solidify that habit of prioritizing getting work done during the week and prioritizing resting and taking time to recharge and, you know, have somewhat of a social life rather than being a complete hermit during the school year and all of that. Like, I think that'll be a really good thing for me to like make sure it's kind of front and center in my mind. So that is going to be my 5th goal. So, you know, none of these are super grandiose goals, I would say. I mean, I guess kind of to a certain extent. I want to get citizenship in another country, like, sure, that's kind of grandiose. But overall, these are kind of all goals that are in line with things I've been working on or things I've wanted to work on, and kind of moving them up to the rank of a top 5 goal, or keeping them as a top 5 goal in the case of some of the ones that I didn't finish this year, just means that these are still priorities for me, and so this is something that I really want to work towards. So my next step is going to be to start breaking down the components, which for a lot of these things I kind of know exactly what the next components are, but I do want to make like a planning page in my bullet journal so that I have those steps really written out, so that when I'm going through and I'm doing my monthly planning or my weekly planning, I can really try and take like one of those steps and work on that, which that is definitely something I need to get better about. Is really breaking stuff down, not just, oh, I know what this is, and then realizing that there's actually kind of more steps to it than that, and then not getting to it because I know it's going to take a long time, which that is a definite problem for me. So that is definitely something I need to work on, which we will definitely focus on in tomorrow's video, talking about pre-planning for next year. So obviously today was just kind of the top 5 goals, but I have other things that I want to work on and other changes I'm going to make to my planning system. So we'll kind of get into more of the nitty-gritty of that tomorrow, and then also see how that really pans out on Friday when we actually do the pre-planning for next year's bullet journal. So that is all I have for you guys for today. If you have any comments or questions, let me know down below, and I will see you tomorrow for the next Mega Goal Week video. Bye! Hey guys, so if you've made it all the way to the end of this video and are actually watching my end screen and you're not subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would. There's a little button right there for you to do it. And if you're interested in watching some more of my videos, I have links to 2 of my older videos off to the left there, so you can check those out if you would like to, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!